This video will introduce you to the functionality that is available on the Navigator of Veda 2.0. So, starting from the top, you can add a new model with this button. So if you say add new, then it will take you to the folder from where you have opened the previous models, and then you can select a new model to synchronize. And if you say OK, then it will again ask you whether you want to open this in a new window or the same window. So you can do that. Okay, then you can select model from here like you can from the menu. It's the same thing. You can select a different model. This button is to start from scratch, so to completely redo the database processing from the beginning. Okay, then this filter box is very powerful, and it is available throughout the application. So it is on Navigator, it's on Browse, it's on Items View, it's on Case Run Manager. So the basic thing here is that if you just write an expression, so for example UC, then it assumes wildcards on either side. So this is working like star UC star. So you see it has shortlisted these scenarios. So it will filter on all boxes at the same time. Now, if I was looking for UC scenarios and I didn't want the nuclear scenarios, then I can write a comma and I can write minus nuke. So again, this is like star UC star minus star nuke star. Now, let's see what happens if I say UC star. So once I include a wildcard, it will stop putting that automatic wildcard, and now it got only those scenarios that start with UC. So to get back what I had with just UC, I will have to do star UC star. Okay, and I guess this is the full functionality of filtering. So you can use wildcards, or if you don't use any wildcards, then it assumes wildcards, and you can do and exclude with a minus like you can in psetpn and so on. So you can exclude CO2, you can exclude nuke, like that. Okay, so that's the filter box. Now this button is to delete files. So these are two files which are not imported and I don't need them, so I can just go here and say remove. So these files will be deleted, and refresh, this is refresh, and F5 also works. So if I do an F5, then it would have gotten rid of those subres files. Now subres has come here. Okay, so I was actually playing with the layout, so that is something we have to still refine, and I think this is a good moment to show this button, which is reload the dock. Okay, so that also didn't get it back, but anyway, so this is supposed to just reload the various boxes that are here. So that's delete, that's refresh, this is reload dock. This will show you the estimated processing time when you select scenarios. So let's say you select 3 files, and it is showing you that the expected processing time is 104 seconds. Select all also works quite well. Unselect all also works. So you remember in old Veda, it was not possible to, once you indicated that you want to import a scenario, you just could not go back on that. But here you can decide to not import even after saying that you want to import it once. Then these folder icons take you to the folder where these files exist. So I find it very useful to use this I've seen people struggling with their Windows Explorer going all the way from drive C to Veda models, and it's time consuming and error prone to not use this if you actually want to see this folder. You should always use this to get to the folder. This is also clickable, and this takes you to the root folder of the model. And there is a new button on the scenarios and some of these boxes. So we are still looking for an icon for this, but the new will create a new scenario file. So let's say I just call it new scenario. And you don't have to include any of the naming conventions. So if I just say new scenario, then it comes as new scenario, and now you see the file that has actually been created has been called sen_new scenario. So Veda will take care of the naming convention. You just have to say what you want to call the scenario. And like before, you will see some of the standard structures already embedded in that new scenario file. Okay, so we have folders, new scenarios, and like before, double click on each file will open the file. Then mouse over on the file shows you the time that it took to process during the last import and when it was synced last. Okay, then these are the indications, basically the status of different files which are color coded. So gray is not imported. This is if you want to import a file, then it turns orange. Consistent is blue. Red is inconsistent. So if you let's say you save a file, so if I save this file and I refresh, then this will turn red. And yellow is to remove. Well, delete remains a slightly mysterious operation, and you have to hold control and click to delete a scenario. So if you wanted to delete this one, I'm holding control and I click, and that turns yellow. So this will remove that scenario. It will not delete the file, it will just remove the scenario. If a file is missing, then it will be black. If a file is open, it will be purple. This is, I think it is not reflecting entirely properly right now, but this is to say when a file has to be reprocessed because something else is being imported, So for example, if you check a by file, then the by trans doesn't have to be reread, but it has to be reprocessed because the transformations in the by trans need to be applied again once you re-import a by file. So that's about all the different color indicators here.